Whoa, how everybody doing? How everybody doing? Welcome to the newest edition, the newest show that we're gonna be adding. Chaz had to step away for a second. We about to have my dog back in for a second. But man, welcome to the newest show, bro. The Fanline. You hear me? Delivered to y'all by us. You know what I mean? And just to give a little idea of what it is we're gonna be doing, man. I got the link posted in the chat for anybody that won't join the show and essentially partake and discussing whatever we got going on, like anything sports related. I could be Pelicans related, it could be NBA related, it could be football related, it could be whatever. But this show is essentially being a Pelican fan, man. Sometimes you need like a vent session, and right now, we kind of wanted something more virtual. You know what I mean? Something where you could be more visible. Some of y'all get y'all faces out there, get y'all voices out there. Y'all be in the chat, man. Y'all be having great opinions. Y'all come up with great dialogue. So we figured it'll be dope to have a platform where everybody can kind of hold on, there go my dog right there. There he is.
You hear me?
Yo, yeah, you good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I didn't know
right.
that happened. My bad.
All right, cool. We live right now, man. My dog Cheddar back in the building. Essentially just giving everybody the idea of what happened, how we came up with the show, how everybody be in the chat from all of the shows of people that do Pels and like people that have done the spaces, from the Pell spaces, the Memphis spaces, all of those other shows. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody who got great dialogue. So we just wanted to make a platform where it's not just us talking and y'all in the chat responding. We kind of wanted to have it to where as stuff happening live, y'all come out, y'all get y'all opinions out, y'all have voices just as big as everybody else's, and we have an interesting conversation about it.
Yeah, man. Like personally, I always appreciate talking with everybody. Shout out to Mike in the building. It's always fun. A lot of new ideas get presented. Some more interesting than others. And I think you're at a point right now with the Pelicans where, there's just several ways you can go about improving this team. You know what I'm saying? There's no one, I don't think there's necessarily a right way to do these things, because I like to mention all the time, man. You got OKC. OKC, they didn't win a championship with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Green, Serge Ibaka. Like you got like 4 or 5 bona fide Hall of Famers, 3 MVPs right there, and they don't have a ring. So a lot of this is luck based, man. A lot of it is luck based, and there's no right way to do it. And I don't really understand. I guess I do understand to some degree. I don't really understand the people who are in like the depths of depression as it pertains to the team. I'm like, yo, man, just take a break and zoom out, because there's a lot of avenues to fix the Pelicans. Like a lot of avenues, more than I think some people even like realize.
I agree. And with that being said, so what I want to do is kind of lay a little bit of the ground rules somewhat. I don't want to call them ground rules, but kind of how we gonna run the show for a little bit. So we not really at a time, but we gonna have around, let's say, 8 to 10 people max on the show at a time. We're gonna be respectful of everybody as they speak. You know what I mean? And as y'all join the show, we're gonna be respectful of y'all opinions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Whether good or bad, whether you agree or not, you know what I mean? And we can have heated discussion, don't get me wrong, but let's just be respectful of each other and keep it, you know what I mean? Keep it at that space. With that being said, man, we got 2 people that's gonna join the show right now. We got Mike Morgan. Appreciate you, Mike, always tapping in as per usual.
Oh,
Mike, you can hear me?
fellas? Oh yeah, I could hear you, man. How y'all feeling?
Right.
Good, how you doing, Mike? My main man. What up, Mike?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just kind of I don't know, man. Just kind of disappointed, bro. Like being born and raised in New Orleans, been a fan, ever since the team moved there. It's kind of been like, it's like, Mike, man, every year, bro. You just
hold on, Mike. 1 second. I won't cut you off. Hold on. Let me add. I got Lean backstage too. Let me add Lean to the show. Whoa, Lean, what's good with you?
You.
Whoa, what's good? Just make sure everybody can hear everybody. Everybody good? You can hear Mike. Mike, you can hear Liam.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
For
All
sure.
right,
Shout out to
good,
Lane.
good. For sure. Appreciate y'all. Also, man, look, don't nobody need to feel pressure to turn their mic, they video on or nothing like that. So if you on the mic, cool. You don't have to turn your video on. If you do, cool. So with that being said, Mike, you got the flow, my boy. Go ahead. And you was kind of going in saying your frustration with the team.
Yeah, for me, bro, man, I just wanted like a team that's a winner, man. It's like not no like, oh, I'm trying to throw some shit at the wall, see what sticks. It's like, no, man, go get a real coaching staff, kind of like, shake up the roster a bit, and bro, go try to do something. Like, what y'all doing? Y'all not tired of losing?
Facts.
Bro, like that's what I mean when I watch these games every night. I'm like, man, y'all not tired of losing?
Man.
Like, bro, like the last 2 years has been insane. And I'm like, for me, man, it's just for like some of the players like Chaz here on this live show, bro. I feel bad for some of the guys.
I
It's
agree
just
with
so
that.
much losing, man. I know all the losing sometimes it's hard to come out of.
I agree with that to a degree. So like with the feeling bad for the players, because if you born into losing, I think you stick with the lose. You get adjusted to losing. I think they beat you down with like Z got here and bruh, I think from year one they broke Z out of shooting threes. People be mad with like Z not shooting threes. First, Z in college shot threes, high school shot threes. Whether he shot them effectively or not, he was willing to shoot them. First game. Everybody, go back to the first game. They show him being clutch. You showed him shooting, and then after that, it was just. I just think they just beat the threes out of him. They just beat the life out of him. That just pause. That sounds a little crazy, but that's just my opinion on it. And all of the losing, I think, is one of the things that you see. It's kind of like the cancer that's going through the team. What y'all think?
Yeah.
Liam, I kick it to you.
I mean, yeah. I can see the standpoint of that. I do want to start this off by saying I don't think that y'all get shouted out enough, especially like you two, Propels, all the
Thank
Boot
you, bro.
crew. I don't
Thank
think
you,
y'all
bro.
get shouted out enough because uh, this is a tough watch. And I've seen some I have seen some stinkers in my time. But this is rough. I don't know. So I recently had like kind of been doing more and more of like a dive on just kind of the history of this team, not necessarily from like a fan aspect, but more of a because like I mean I was born into this. Like aside from what the association of my dad with like Kansas City, so like I'm a fan of the Chiefs by proxy, and like I'm a fan of the Royals. I New Orleans is me. Like it's just who I've always been. But looking like deeper, especially like within the last two eras, if you want to call it, of like AD and Zion. I think it is fair to say from like the conversations that I've had with other fans, Zion is disappointing to me. And I understand that everyone has like their own opinion, and there are several things that play into it. Right now, coaching plays a fairly big part of why Zion is not as good as he could be, especially with him being in like the best shape that he's been in. But at least in my opinion, one good season does not outweigh the fact that we're going on year 7, and he is on pace to play above 60 games only for the third time in his career.
Let me ask you a question. So, because you know what, Zion, especially with trade deadline coming up and stuff like that, Zion is a very polarizing figure in New Orleans. Probably the most polarizing star I think New Orleans has had. Would we agree to that? Like there's never been a figure quite like Zion.
Yeah,
right?
I would agree.
Yeah. So
I think I'm gonna add like post retirement, maybe Boogie, but like if we're talking strictly players, then I would say Zion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Here's my thought, because I was a Z fan before he got to the Pels, you know what I mean? So here's my thought. And a lot of people reference like the year 7 and the disappointment. I understand and also agree with the fact that Zion is disappointing for plenty of reasons. As a young man coming in his career, he didn't take his profession overly seriously, and I think you saw like the negative effects of that.
Right.
Also, here's my question. If you go to a job, right? And because essentially this is his job, and everything around you is shit water, right? Like
that's fair.
I always like to think about things on a personal level. If you were fresh out of college, you know what I mean? You worked hard, you got your degree, you were a phenom in high school, and whatever your field might have been, right? Everything's in front of you, and then you go to you get into the professional world, and the place you go to is the worst place in the last. Before Zion got here, this place was regarded as one of the worst places of the last 20 years or something like that. Like, however, it was one of the worst organizations in the entire NBA. So then you get the phenom, and then the first thing they say is it's not your responsibility. They don't clear the decks. They don't hold him accountable. They essentially they're training him over those 7 years to be exact. Like nobody, and again, you're supposed to have your own people. I get that, but there's nobody else saying you need to work hard. There's nobody holding you. There's no vets around here saying you need to do X, Y, and Z to become a great player. And then he had the weight issues, and then the older people like the Shaqs of the world, the Charles Barkleys of the world that people thought he would, kind of lean on, right? They immediately was making fun of him. So it's kind of like, fuck him. I don't want to. Like, realistically, Chaz, what you think? Like, if you Z in those situations, you 19, 20 now. Think about it. You're not 25. What up, Jess? Appreciate you. What up, Jess? As always, and everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all. But if everybody was telling you about initially how great you was, and then was turning on you, and then the organization behind the scenes not really that great, it's kind of like, how could you not become disappointing after a while? Or do you have to rise above that? What you think, Chaz, and then Mike?
I think it's much like with real life. Honestly, I think your formative years in the NBA are incredible. Like, adults don't typically figure out how to read in college. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you don't have that foundation in like the your early years of your professional career, like getting drafted to the right organization or getting drafted to a place with at least some type of structure, some fundamentals, some principle. Again, you talk about 1 year Elvin Gentry, you pay $5 million for him to go away. You keep Drew Holiday, you have a disaster with Aaron Nelson, just a total disaster. And I mean, he feels differently. Aaron feels like he got done dirty, but it's like, well, bro, nobody hired you since then. I don't know, maybe, but you got that issue. And then you of course, you got the Stan Van Gundy, who you kind of saw maximize Zion a bit. He goes after 1 year, you pay him $15 million just to stay home. You keep on the majority of his staff. Then you hire, oh my God, I don't even know how to describe Willie Green. You hire Willie Green, who's arguably
no words,
like arguably a bottom 5 NBA coach.
Willie was like the 8th option.
Really, you had Jacques Vaughn, who pulled his name out of the equation. Ty Lue, Charles Lee, like you had a lot of people that you had preferred. Shit, Stan Van Gundy. That's 4 coaches right there that you had preferred over Willie Green prior to you hiring him. And then you hire James Borrego, who clearly you probably preferred him as well. But yeah, man, I just think from ground zero, like this was just a disaster class in team building and just basic logic. You can just go to some of the moves you made, man. You traded a first for Devontae Graham, traded 4 seconds to get rid of him, traded a second to get rid of Kyrie Lewis. You're starting Josh Richardson over Trey Murphy. You traded a first for Derek Favors. Like some of your first moves were just this inexplicable, and it just never got better. I think the onus is on Zion because if everybody around you's drowning, that don't mean you jump out the boat with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your ass is in the boat. You're drafted. The new regime starts with you. Good players survive bad coaches and bad organizations all the time. The team may not win necessarily like a Kevin Garnett, guys like that who ultimately end up going find greener pastures. Even Anthony Davis, you know what I'm saying, guy who ultimately went on to find greener pastures. But it got to be in you to overcome some of the short-sightedness and the shortcomings of the organization. We've seen that from Zion maybe once or twice, but up until this point, it's like it hasn't been consistent enough. And like it or not, you were the number one pick. I'll close with this. I was talking to somebody about this earlier. Cade Cunningham, up until last year, was a very disrespected man, especially on Twitter. Right?
Cade was looked at as a bust. People
were calling Cade a bit of a bust. And Cade was like the consensus number one pick. Like Paolo today, right now, people call it like Paolo. All he doesn't develop. It's like damn, it's like it's 4 years or something. Then you had Duran. No, Duran wasn't even starting games. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they hired JB Bickerstaff, fire Monty Williams, wave Killian Hayes. Now these dudes look like all NBA players, and that's, to me, having a direction and having some quality coaching changes the dynamic of organizations, in my opinion.
Mike, let me pass it to you while we talking about Z real quick, because what's your thoughts on Z? Because I do want to get y'all opinions on, like, obviously the big thing right now was like the direction of the Pels, but I personally think the biggest problem is the organization. Mike, what do you think the biggest problem is? And it's not just Z, but if your thing is not Z, like, what is your opinion on Z?
Man, to be honest, I think you have to keep Z. Is like, first off, or I kind of feel like you never really put like a good team around them. Even the 49-win team, bro, you didn't have no point guard. Like, really didn't have any good depth. Like, dumbass coaching staff. Like, man, that's really, I don't think the team is as bad as they look. I think they really, like, even if you see right now, man, these dudes gave up on Borrego. So I think the reason you really probably have the best of Zion, bro, you really have a full team around this man. Every time he get hurt, he got to go Hercules mode, put the team on his back. You know what I mean? It's like, man, put some real NBA players around this man. You're trying to put role players around this man. They're like, oh, look, they're starters. Like, no, they role players. Like, he's an all-star. No, he ain't. Like some of the guys, I ain't gonna mention names. I'm like, no, man, that dude ain't no all-star. I don't see that. So I just feel like put a good coaching staff around him, get a better roster around him. To me, he looks locked in. He played like 23 games straight. Like, he playing. Mm-hmm. All you gonna get on the market for him is like, what's an expiring contract? Not even a first. Like, man, just keep him, bro. And I mean, you know what I mean? And look, if he shows you different in the near future, then hey, you go separate ways. But for right now, just ride with it.
You make a good point, Liam. I'm gonna pass this to you real quick as well, because Mike just was essentially saying he think he should keep Z, and was talking about how Z in past years has put the team on his back. I think Z in this situation right now, where the contract's not guaranteed, the game's not guaranteed, people like, why is Z not, like, is it just me, or do it look like Z not going hard to you? Pause. I don't know if that's crazy or not either, but do it seem like Z kind of in not cruise control, but we've seen Z, like at the end of last season, go Herculean. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I
is
feel
all.
like this. I don't mean to cut
Mhm.
you off, bro. Like if
No,
I'm the
you
best
good.
player, if I'm the best player on a team and I'm not really getting the ball, why every game I gotta ask for the ball? Like, why do we have to go through this every game? They like, oh, you gotta demand the ball. Okay, I can see, here or there, but every game I gotta do that. Every game, like, no, that's coaching, bro.
Bruh, what you call it just said the other day, Giannis. Did y'all see the report that Giannis had the other day? Giannis had 11 shots, and this is what Giannis, a 2-time MVP, like all NBA player, arguably best player in the league type player, had 11 shots, and Giannis said, I don't know, maybe they think it's their time, like maybe they think Giannis said Giannis said maybe because we not good, the young players think it's their time. Like that's out of his. Come on, dog. So if that's Giannis saying that after getting 11 shots, like Liam, come on, dog. What you think? What you think? Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fizz looking at Z thinking.
So, I'm gonna respond to like a couple of things because I do agree with like most of what y'all are saying, 100%. I think like the majority of the problems with this organization can start and end with ownership.
Fair
Period.
point. Very fair
If you
point.
have an owner, right? Like if you're working at a job and everyone at the job gives a shit, but the CEO doesn't give a shit, they're just there to collect the check, the business is going to fail.
Absolutely.
Because no matter how fast the cogs are running, and no matter how organized everything is, the main factor of it isn't moving. So ownership is the overarching thing. The pushback I will give at least a little bit with Zion in relation to the talent and the effort that he gives is, to begin with, he didn't want to be here. There's stories on draft night that people have said from Zion Williamson's camp saying that whenever they found out that New Orleans got the number 1 overall pick, it felt like a gut punch because he wanted to go to New York. And the
It would be a
entire
gut punch to me too.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not like a oh, New Orleans is like the like oasis
Yeah, gotcha.
of like stardom, right? You could probably count on like one hand how many stars, like genuine stars we've had.
Right.
And
But
see, Lee, I agree. That's why you got to find you a group of guys that is willing to build that. Like, they got that mentality. I don't care where I'm at. I'm here to build.
yeah, absolutely. And
You
so
got to
like
find you
I
a group
think
of
that's
guys like that. Like, whatever it takes.
I think that's what I like the most about the rookies is hearing them talk about the city and how much they like enjoy being in the city, right? Or at least Jeremiah Fears has been like very vocal about it, about like, I love the culture of this place, I love the people, like this place is dope. And I'm like, cool.
Let me pose a question to you before you continue, and I'm not trying to cut you off. I just want to pose this question. Do you think being 10 and 35 or whatever they are is like, is something that, like, let's say the next, because Jeremiah, like when he got drafted, and maybe he was, rose colored glasses, but he was talking about, man, we trying to win. They didn't win the game in preseason, not preseason, in summer league. They went 0-5 in summer league. They like they barely, like they didn't win no NBA games in the preseason. Like the only 2 games they won were the games against the Australian teams. And then you started the season off 0-6 or whatever it was, and now you 10 and whatever. Do you think
Yeah.
that Fears and Queen gonna still feel like that? And if they go through the rebuild that some people want, if they go through the rebuild and he is the face of, say, bro, y'all ain't got over 20 wins in 3 seasons.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's tough, right? Because if so, let me bounce that question back with 2 questions, right? As far as summer league, do you think that the Pels would have won any summer league games if Derek Queen didn't get hurt? Like if his hand didn't get hurt, he was there to have like a full summer league on the court with Jeremiah. So they build a stronger connection, and that going into the season, do you think that the season would have been any different, or do you think they would have hit their wall quicker?
Chaz, you could take that.
Man, you know what? Honestly, I don't necessarily view it as a rookie wall. More, I kind of feel like some of the high points with Derek specifically have been more so anomalies. Like, just because even with both of the rookies, like they live up to their scouting report to a T. And the thing with Jeremiah that I saw a bit more of as a rookie was the shooting is it's something you can build on there. She's strong getting downhill, the finishing needs work. And I still see that from summer league to now. Whereas with Derek, it was like in the couple games he did play, I really just saw a guy who can only play one way. And what makes it tough, I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm foreseeing this now. I see a lesser talented version of maybe Sengun and Jalen Green. And what I mean by that is like ultimately, I'm gonna have to choose one of y'all because I think some of the things that Derek does can complement can complement Fears, but not necessarily vice versa. Like I watch them throw the ball down to DQ in the post, and DQ he couldn't back down Duncan Robinson, couldn't back down Tim Hardaway, Cam Thomas. And to me, it's like, yo, this is really concerning because you don't have a ton of advantages at your position of play. Like, you're not a center, clearly you're a power forward. But can you consistently beat guys off the dribble? I don't know. Can you shoot consistently? I don't know. Is the handle crisp enough that it overcompensates for that lack of a first step? I don't know. Are you really strong? I don't know. Like, it just, I still have a ton of questions, right? To where I don't know if his I say that to say I don't know if his activity during the season would have mattered. I'm sorry, in the preseason, rather, or summer league would have mattered as much. And I also think, man, look, I kind of got some pushback behind saying this in the summer league. I was just like, this coaching staff this is a waste of time.
No,
you're totally putting these guys, and that's what makes it tough to really criticize
any
the
player
non-veterans. Like, if you've only known like this coaching staff, it makes it tough because it's like, damn, bro, this is just a waste of time for everyone, honestly. And no disrespect to Corey Brewer, but if you end over your head during summer league, like it's how does this improve? How does this get better, man? You know,
that writing's kind of on the wall.
Yeah. So I don't know if that technically answered the question, but I not really sure if that means Derek. I do think if Derek would have had a full off season to like not just work out, I think he would have maybe looked a little bit better. But to Chaz's ultimate point with not trusting the coaching staff at all, I kind of give the players to a small degree benefit of the doubt, and like, okay, you see, why is it so that they quit on Borrego so soon after Borrego had so much of the hype? You get what I mean? That's the questions that I think I'm asking, because it took Willie, for whatever you say about Willie Green, and we all know Willie Green wasn't a good coach, like strategically wasn't a good coach. But Willie Green, as far as you look at the resume itself, had increasing wins his first three seasons, regardless of if you say how he got into the playoffs. He did make the playoffs twice. Zion often injured, Brandon often injured, Trey was in and out. You know what I mean? So like, it's not really to give Willie Green a pass at all. Like, Willie had to go. And to me, that's one of the blessings of the season, that Willie Green had to go. But at the same time, like, he got fired early in the season, and Borrego has had a relatively healthy seat. Like Trey hasn't missed that many games.
Yeah.
Herb has been more injured, and like we can actually transition into like the trade deadlines and stuff like that now, which is the real exciting stuff to talk about. But like Herb has been out, but Jose, when they was going through a lot of that losing, Jose was there. Missy, for the most part, has been there since Borrego's been there. Carlo's been there since he's been like who hasn't he had for an extended period of time other than her, to where you just kind of like, Willie Green going seasons without Zion. You only getting 29, 30 games. Shit, Z already had that number. Go ahead, Mike.
I wanted to get this off. So earlier I was doing some math. Man, I was like, look, if you add it up, bro, you got what, Poole, DeJounte, what they both make like 30, 32 million a piece, something like that. Bro,
60,
you had like
that's 60
million. You got Looney sitting over there, bro. Now you at 72 million. You got Hulk that ain't giving you nothing, bro. Look, now you almost, I round up. You had 80 million. You got Herb that never played at 70. Bro, you got like 110, 100 million. Like, that you ain't getting nothing from. Poole ain't giving you nothing. DeJounte hurt. Herb never played. Jose, I ain't even talk about him. He never played. Hulk. So you got like $110 million. Like, you ain't getting no production from. I think the first thing is you got to try to find, other than a coaching staff, trying to find a way to clean that up. You got too much like money that you're not getting anything from, bro. $110 million. Let's think that's a big part of why they like really like so bad. You ain't. That's too much. That's just my opinion, bro. That's too much money not to be getting anything from.
That's a great opinion. That your two of your top players between DeJounte will never play for the Pelicans again, in my opinion. Like DeJounte, I don't know if is that wild to say. I think DeJounte had never put the uniform on.
Yeah, I think he done in New Orleans.
Yeah, DeJounte said last year he wanted out. I think DeJounte is done. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason for DeJounte to come back to this, first off. And then, like, so I think DeJounte is done. That's 30 million that's out of there. And Poole, you kind of got to figure out. But like you said, that's 60-something million of what's supposed to be your second and third best player. If you're going based off the money, right? If you're going based off the money, like, they both should be producing more than Trey Murphy. No? I'm saying when you bring in DeJounte,
Oh, you saying for DeJounte versus Trey or Poole versus Trey?
Well, I'm just saying when you bring in. So for this, is what I mean. When you brought in DeJounte, you thought DeJounte was gonna be, DeJounte like a former All-Star?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you thought it wouldn't have been a stretch to say DeJounte was supposed to be a better or more important piece than Trey Murphy
last year.
Yeah, last season.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of tough because he got hurt in the first game. It's like it's just kind of tough.
I think the thing about DeJounte, like Chaz has, I think he said it a few nights ago on one of the lives. The Pelicans, bro, and I believe this too. They were supposed to trade for DeJounte when Atlanta traded for him. That's when I think they traded for him.
Yeah, like we did a show
2 years, like 2 years too late.
Yeah, bro, and it's kind of like, and I was talking to Trey Alexander on Twitter. It's like the Pelicans like the buy high and sell low, bro. Like, it just total backwards logic. Like, even with DeJounte, the time to get DeJounte is when you got him for dirt cheap from the Spurs, coming off of a recent All-Star bid. You know what I'm saying? By the time you got him, it was like, okay, you still need a center. You're starting Daniel Tice. Brandon's still here. it's like now it looks, now the roster is still bizarre. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's, you're not good enough to do some of these things. I think generally, as it pertains to Coach Borrego and just the team construction overall, like the bar really ain't, yo, coach, you got to be a top 4 seed. The bar, at least my bar, and I talked to L about this, is like, bro, I want you to win 10 games by the end of 2025. You couldn't do that. like to me, I'm like, the Wizards did that. Like, you know, like there's teams, like there's terrible teams that just like, well, wait a minute. Even they overachieved based on like because even when we talk shots, I think Mike made a lot of great points. But even when we talk about like roster, let's just say roster construction generally, right? I like on the real, okay. So Dumas didn't necessarily build his team because he didn't trade for DeJounte. He didn't trade for Hawk. The roster kind of was as is. His moves were bringing in Pools, Sadiq Bey, PV, Queen Fairs, and Kevon Looney, and DeAndre, if you want to count that. I count DeAndre as a coach, right?
As the coach.
Yeah. Like, when you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, the Memphis missing Ja. They missing Brandon Clark ain't play all season. Scottie Pippen Jr., Ty Jerome, Edie been out the lineup. Williams, Gigi been out the line. It's like they've had so many. They got players, like big time players, that never even touched the floor, and they sitting at about 18 wins. That's why I just look at, far as the Pelicans having, I believe, about 13 4-quarter blown leads. If you win half of them, bro, let's say you win 6. That's 16 wins right there. If you win 7, if I want to be generous and give you 7, that's 17 wins. You in real contention for the play-in right now. Like with Borrego, it's just been such a total misuse of maximizing what you have available, right? And that's really been my knock against him. Nobody really telling you to put a rabbit out of hat. But if Zion, this is unbelievable. If Zion 8 for 8 in the first half with 21 points, he can't finish the game with 12 shots. He can't finish the game.
It was, man, these little posts. It was like a post-practice interview I listened to for Borrego. It was like a week ago. Pelicans lost.
It was last week, you say?
Something. He was like, "Oh yeah, even though we lost, we had like the number 1 ranked offense last night."
Yes.
I'm like, huh?
Well, shout out to my dog Lito.
And I'm listening to it, bro, and I'm just like, man, how y'all had the number 1 rated offense in a loss?
See, this
I'm just like, bro, that's loose. Like all that stuff, man, that's just loser talk, man.
See, bro, this is what I mean.
You got to get the losers out the building. We don't want to hang
out. What I mean, bro.
We don't want to feel sad, man. You got to get them up out of here, man.
This is what I mean.
And it's my last point.
Go ahead.
Man. But out of like the 107 million, that's why I don't blame this on Joe and Troy. It's only 38 million. Poole and Looney that really ain't doing anything for you, but all the rest of that is on Griff. The other 70 million on Griff.
Sadly.
That's all his play. Like, so, and I believe it is that.
Yo, and Liam, I would love to get your perspective on this as you as well, because shout out to Fitz of Black Dog, shout out to my dog Lito and Joe in the building, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Because even I keep saying this, I feel like ultimately David Griffin ended up getting his fourth coach in James Borrego. You got a guy like Casey Hill, who's been here since the Stan Van Gundy tenure. I think he's the lead assistant right now as well. But just generally, you still got so many of David Griffin's like fingerprints on this organization. It had to be a multi-year project. But Liam, I'm curious as to how would you evaluate just Borrego generally at this point?
Not amazing. No, definitely. I wouldn't even say it's like truly super good. Now, is that because I'm judging it off of wins and losses, or what I'm seeing on the court, or what the stats are saying? It's a mixture of everything. If the stats are saying that, yeah, they're playing faster, yeah, they're getting more possessions, yeah, they're getting more open looks, but none of the shots are falling, you're still rolling out weird lineups, no one's really adhering to any sort of like plan or structure or like hierarchy or just looking to whoever the number one option is, and you're not generating wins.
Sound a lot like
No,
Willie Green still here.
yeah, it's just
Man.
it's Willie, but now instead of defense, you're on offense. Like that's it.
It's a very great point. Let me ask y'all this: what would be, because we are in trade deadline season, the reports of the players getting moved are finally starting to come out. You've been hearing the eaves for Ben Matherin talking about and right now a lot of people fishing for content. So some of this stuff you kind of got to watch out. They got that Bulls report about the Bulls and Zion working on the deal, anything like that. Out of any of the reports that heard to the league, is any of the reports y'all seen give like genuine interest, or y'all think like, is there a trade out there that obviously you got the Ja situation going on? We get ready to play Memphis. So like, is there
Ja
anything? Ja hurt again. Hurt again.
Yeah. Okay.
Ja hurt again. You know what I mean? Is there any situation that y'all foresee from a trade aspect that y'all think could, I don't want to say salvage the season because the season is pretty much done, but at least give you like, at least kind of boost your spirits moving forward? Liam, you could take that one. Liam, Chaz, Mike, whoever want go.
I do want to say really quick, just to hop back on the other topic. Chaz, you're right about Griff. I'm looking at all these draft picks. The only other thing that I can blame Dumars on is he let Antonio Reeves go. That's like the only other.
I hated
notch.
that, man.
Yeah, that's the only other notch that I'm giving him, considering the fact that Antonio Reeves was like a very big part of a lot of those wins last season. But like Hayes, Didi, Kyra, Liddell.
You think about Hawkins over Keontae. You think about Jax over Garland.
Dyson.
I can't
Dyson.
I can't watch any Philly games without getting like irreparably mad.
Oh, Kyra over Tyrese Maxey. Oh my God, man. This dude was a disaster, bro. He was a disaster.
Here's a question. And the reports were, Chaz, you might know this. Was it possible that when they were getting ready to hire Griff, that they wanted to hire Dumars?
Dumars has always kind of been a guy lurking in the background, similar to like Avery Johnson. With this, as I was told, and man, one thing I've learned, man, it all depends on who you talk to last. From what I was told, Dumars kind of campaigned for this. Like, it wasn't a situation to where they went and hunted him down. It was more of a situation where he was like, yo, thinking about getting back into the field. You know what I mean? Yeah, thinking about getting back into the game, man. I feel like I got done dirty. So again, it's all about who you talk to last, bro.
The reason I ask is because, and y'all can comment on this too, because I like to have like real strange thoughts, because they said that when Dell was here, they were considering Dumars. He goes like, his ties with the family goes back that far, basically, right? So let's say after Dell got fired, they would have hired Dumars, right? And that's not to say that Dumars would have brought in Troy. Who do you think you would have trusted more with the war chest and the assets? Would you have trusted Griff, or would you have trusted Dumars at the time?
Well, I just want to add this quick part. So Ferry was actually in consideration for the job
from Atlanta, right?
Yeah, from Atlanta. He said some wild shit though, so I don't know how that would have went over. But maybe now, but back then it probably wouldn't have went over well. But he was another guy who was in consideration. But my bad.
Well, no, I'm just asking, like, let's just say, because we know what Griff tenure turned into, right? Yeah. Do you think if instead of them hiring Griff, they would have just been like, you know what? Because they hired Griff throughout the right protocol, right? Then they hired, like, Griff was recommended to them from like somebody through the NBA, if I'm not mistaken.
Like an outside auditor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and they landed on David Griffin, as opposed to probably following what they wanted to do and possibly hiring Joe Dumars from jump, because this business is run like a family business, right? They probably would have kept it in house. But here's my question, I guess: if they would have hired Dumars with the assets, like getting ready to trade AD and all of that, do you think we see a different situation than what the Pelicans are in, or is it kind of like what everybody's saying now, and that Joe was gonna fuck it up regardless?
I think it depends on who Joe would have hired at GM.
That
Because
says Troy. He said Troy the best.
so let's say he said Troy the best
Let's
at
say
that time.
let's say him and Troy take over.
I think Joe Num would have did better. Let's say, because I don't want to say about constructing the AD trade. Let's just say he got the same shit back.
Yeah, same shit back.
He would have done much better.
You think so? I think he draft Garland. I think he takes Z and Garland or trade up something and go get Josh.
Even like, bro, just looking at it, because people give Griff all the blame for the Pelicans era, but like Liam just named off, Trajan had a hand in a lot of those decisions. Trajan was the co-pilot in a lot of those decisions, right? So if you say, and you think about, if you're gonna let Trajan slide with his New Orleans tenure, it's like at least you got to give Weaver some credit for what he built in Detroit, because that's all Weaver. That's all his picks. Like with the exception of Killian Hayes and
he got like 2 misses.
Yeah, he had like 2 misses, and he didn't hire Monty Williams. That was ownership. Yeah. So it's like Trajan. All Trajan really did is hire former coach of the year JB Bickerstaff, bro. That's all he really did. He signed Tobias Harris, hasn't been able to trade him. Tim Hardaway pretty much went for next to nothing. He brought in Duncan Robinson this year. We already know what happened with Beasley, but he ain't really do nothing. Like, so I mean, that's just my position. I think Troy and Joe would have done better.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think so. I think what Troy have shown me, from what I've my homework I've done, he's a real good talent evaluator, does real well in the draft. So like you said, I think he would have done a much better job in the draft evaluating talent. And that's what really set this team back, man. Hawk was a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Like, just think about that, bro. Dude, Hawk was a lottery pick.
Pick 14.
Let me give some grace to my boy Hawk. For as bad as he is, coming out of college, no one knew he was going to be this rough.
No.
Well, we got Lee joining the stage. What's going on, Lee? How you doing?
What's going on, fellas?
I'm doing all right, brother. How you doing?
Man, my question is, who really running things? Okay, I know Joe, the main man, Troy, the GM, but is Troy making decisions and Joe co-sign is giving him the okay on it, or is some of these decisions that's being made right now all Joe and Troy just the co-pilot?
From what I was told a little while ago, and this is around the same time, it was brought to my attention that Joe was kind of like overseeing the Zion rehab process at UNO. Troy is like, man, I'm sorry. Joe was like, I wouldn't have taken this job if I was going to be micromanaged, because I was somewhere chilling. So I think he giving Troy pretty much free reign. From what I was told about Joe, he's not really much of a meddler. He like, man, just do your job. I'm gonna do my job. I'm just here to evaluate. I'm here to oversee and evaluate. So I do believe that a lot of what's happening is Troy, and just going back to some of the things Troy had done. Some of the stuff got Troy fingerprints on it. Like when I think about Wendell Carter Jr., Troy was a big fan of him, ended up bringing him in. Wiseman, Troy, he'll take a chance on a high pedigree guy, whether it work out or not. And, you look at that Queen. I don't think I hope Queen ain't either one of them. But, I'm just saying he'll take a chance on some of those guys. Like he ain't afraid to trade up or buy low on a distressed asset. So a lot of what I'm seeing right now with Poole, Sadiq Bey, that just scream Troy Weaver. I ain't gonna lie.
Let me ask y'all this question, and we'll start kind of like the trade discussions and stuff like that. What trade do y'all think is most likely to happen? Like Eves, do we think the Eves for Ben Mathurin is like essentially done? Like, do y'all think that's a done deal? And if so, do y'all think that's a good move?
I think it's about 70% like done. I think they're trying to give even at a game or two to like make sure they don't have like seller's remorse. But I think it's pretty much done.
That makes sense. Liam, what you think?
I think out of all of the ones that I've heard, outside of like most of the ones that are like Herb Jones going to Detroit or Herb Jones going to the Lakers, I think the Eve Nisi one is the most believable.
Lee, where you stand on the Ease Nisi for Ben Mathurin deal that's been proposed or that's been floating around out there?
Man, I think it would be good for the Pels because the Pels seem not to be really interested in keeping Misi around. So you might as well get something worth having for him.
Let me ask this, because a lot of people kind of like, because Eve shows some promise, it kind of like, you kind of want to hang on to Eve. But if Eve is showing some promise, isn't that like the optimum time to like maximize before he looks more regular? Like if and I'm not saying this is Eve's ceiling, but if this is Eve's ceiling, right, or close to it, who do you think is more beneficial to the team, or who do you think will have a bigger impact on the team? Eves and what he can do, or Ben Mathurin and what he could possibly provide?
Mathurin all the way.
Go ahead, Mathurin.
Because Eve really with this team, bro, I think Eve is the type of guy, man. He needs like a consistent role every night. Like, hey, I know I'm getting 18 to like 25 minutes a night. This is what I'm being asked to do. And he gonna come in, bro. You gonna get the most out of him. Here with the Pelicans, bro, he might play 25. He might get a DMP. He might get 3 minutes. He might get 13. So it's always to be inconsistent for him. So I don't think. And he's still learning. You know, he started playing basketball at a very late age. I think 16 or 17. And he's 21.
People disregard that fact. That's a pretty important point, to be honest. Go ahead.
And so he really needs those like minutes in a consistent role. And by him not getting that consistent role, I think that's really like stunting, you know, his progression as a player right now. But he has looked solid this season. I'm a fan of him.
I completely agree. Like the fact that Eve is 21, 22 years old, picked up a basketball 7 years ago and managed to make it to the NBA, and is getting what would be under a normal coaching staff consistent starting minutes and making this much of an impact on the floor is huge. And I think wherever he goes, he would have a successful career. But if the choice is between keeping Eve or keeping Carlo, it would kind of be irresponsible to let Carlo go, because I feel like Carlo has the capability to do some of the stuff that Eve can do, with the added fact of he can shoot the ball.
I think that's a very good point. And if you just being honest, if you look at how James Borrego is playing them, he ain't really playing either one of them significant minutes. So it's kind of like, what are you losing at that point? You know what I mean? If you brought in Ben Mathurin, and this is where I stand on Ben Mathurin, bro. Like, I like to see players shine in bright moments. Ben Mathurin throughout the playoffs, and people talk about he's not a consistent shooter and stuff like that.
Man.
They just don't run the offensive style for Ben to really like go cook like that. But see, when they played OKC and it was, hey, we putting the bucket getters out there, because people forget regular season basketball is different than playoff basketball. In my opinion. So like playoff basketball, like Nimhard, Neesmith, them dudes, not saying that they don't be hooping during the regular season, but they play a different style in the regular season. When the playoffs came and it was, hey, you, him, go get a bucket, Ben Mathurin was looking like, OKC, they threw Dort on him, they threw Caruso on him. You seen them throw some of the toughest defenders on him, and all of them was getting torched. I need a player with the capability to do that. And who do we have that can do any of what Ben Mathurin can do the way he does it?
Guys, if the trade did happen, Do y'all think Ben Mathurin would have a consistent role with the Pels?
I think so.
I think he's just
I
starting.
think so.
I think he's just start. So let me ask y'all this, and this is a great. If they did give Ben Mathurin, who are you starting? Ben Mathurin or Herb Jones?
That's a man. Ben go. I
That's
mean,
easy.
Hey, as long as it's not Bay need to be
Yeah.
on the bottom of the bench, man. He doing
Yeah.
too much.
Hey, the
Yeah.
only thing about Herb though, man, I don't mean to sound offensive to any Herb Jones fans, bro. I was kind of the advocate they should have traded him last summer. He losing value by the day because he never plays.
Yeah.
He played 9 games last year, bro. He's missed like the last 19 out of 20 games. Teams gonna be like, hey, you want 2 first-round picks? He ain't played the last 2 years.
I think much to E, like of course in E, I gotta preface this one, man. Eve, my partner, man. You know, Eve, I fucks with Eve, but
Respect to Eve.
Respect to Eve, man. Eve a good guy, man. And what he's been able to, what Liam's point, what he's been able to accomplish, you know, it shouldn't go unnoticed. But I think, much like Mike just said, and I was saying this, screaming this last year, like, yo, he has very easily replaceable skill sets. Like I go to the guy in Boston right now. Is it Cater? He's starting at the 5 for them. Dog. Just at the 5, monster. Luke Cornett, monster. Like, you know what I'm saying? And those are guys, when you're like semi-rotational big, it's kind of difficult in the NBA because there's lots of semi-rotational bigs. So when you're a defense first guy who you know, the bud is off the rolls a little bit defensively and from beyond the arc, that's not someone you want to pay double-digit money to if you're not a regularly contending team. As for Ben Mathurin, man, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. There's some of the people turn up their nose at Ben. Some of that is friendly neighborhood extortion, and I do think
Yeah, I saw that, man. I was like, what? I was like, man, I saw like some stuff like, oh, he's not an impactful player. I'm like, man, the man won 2 games in the finals. What y'all talking about?
And it's like, bro, it's one of those things where I'm gonna move off this point quickly, but it's one of those things where it's like, look, Joe, you might want to start giving me some of this access, dog, or anything you do. I got my eye on you, partner. I think that's a part of it. But man, think about this. Just think about this, right? Ben's first 12 or so games of the season, the man was averaging 20 points, right? Man was balling. Went down with a couple injuries, one being in the shooting in hand. Now, if for a guy who's not this great shooter, he's shooting 36% on 6 attempts a game. Last season he shot 34 on 4.
5.
Season before that, he shot 37%, average 16
He'd be the best
points.
shooter on the Pelicans.
He'd be arguably the best shooter on the Pelicans. Average 16, 14, 16, 17, 17.8 rather. And this is while playing with injury. Get to the free throw line. He's averaging 5 free throws a game for his career, averaging 4.7 free throws this season. That's more than Herb Jones. That's about where Trey is at. And it's like the dude's 23 years old. And this is what I don't understand, bro. It's like you have to respect the market you're in, right? You got to respect the market you're in. You can't look at it through Homer glasses. Like, bro, if Ben Mathurin was a free agent today, you probably would have to give him the max because otherwise he wouldn't. He might not even take it. Like he wouldn't even necessarily come to New Orleans if he was a free agent. And like you see with Kevon Looney's making more money this season than he's ever made for 1 year in his career. You have to overpay to get this guy, right? The organization's not respected. The market isn't necessarily held in high regard. And if you're a team like the Pelicans, your only 2 options at being good is you're gonna have to find a Ferrari with a scratch on it and buff that motherfucker out, or you're gonna have to hit home run after home run after home run in the draft. And it's like, are we being serious here? It's like when people, I'm sorry, it was
no, go ahead.
When I was talking about Cam Thomas, people was like, oh, no way. I'm like, so you want to keep starting Jose and Hawkins, and you want to keep playing them real minutes. No offense, Liam, to Hawkins. You want to keep playing. You want to keep playing.
I'm taking Cam.
You want to keep playing Jose and Hawkins, and you turning you got the gall to turn your nose up at a Cam Thomas. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's just I don't
Cam
think
Thomas a walking 30, bro.
it's like, bro, you gotta recognize, like, ugly people have fewer options. You know
I'm
what I'm
gonna say
saying?
this, guys.
It's
I'm
what
gonna
it
judge
is.
Joe and Troy this summer based off the coaching staff that they select. That's
I
what
agree
I'm
with
gonna
that.
really.
Yeah,
Because right now
that's
they
a
got a
good
clean
point.
house. It's still all grift people. You gotta work the roster around. But I'm gonna really judge you off who the coaching staff.
But let me ask you, would the coaching staff be under both, like fall under both of them, or would you look at more Joe or Troy?
I look at both.
You would look at both?
Because they kind of, I mean, like the way I looked at it, like the way it's kind of like they work like side by side. That's how I look at it.
You tied at the hip.
Yeah, like they tied at the hip. I mean, that's how Joe presented it. I'm just going off, kind of how he presented it.
I think Troy's gonna have Troy. I don't know what kind of situation that, like, how bad Troy would have to mess up for Joe to be like, all right, Troy, you getting fired. You get what I'm saying? Like, he specifically like he didn't even interview nobody. Like, I don't, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't interview nobody for the role that Troy Weaver has, right?
Not that it was announced. I think it was just, hey, Joe Dumars is the GM. By the way, here's Troy Weaver.
Yeah, exactly. So his allegiance is to Troy Weaver. Like, and Bryson, shout out to Bryson Graham, a guy who grew up in the organization. Immediately they was like, look, we're gonna do you a solid, we're gonna send you to Atlanta, and we're gonna give you the pick, by the way.
Hey, look, quick question for y'all. Why do y'all think Troy is kind of like in a back picture and like hasn't been introduced at GM? Do y'all think they're waiting to get their own people in the building and introduce him as a GM and kind of have him more around?
I think so.
Okay.
I say that because
I was like wondering, I'm like, man, why he's kind of never, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem like he's a part of the team. And I was like, maybe they're waiting till they get their own people.
I say that because, man, this is a real shadowy welfare organization, bro. Like, I remember when Dell Demps had to give Tariq Evans a hat because the jerseys wasn't ready. Like, like I'm telling you, bro, like this is a very
wow.
This is a true story, bro. He said it himself. He's like, our jerseys aren't ready yet. This is the real bottom of the barrel organization. I do think I think the only real adjustment they've made to the staff is they hired someone they worked with in Detroit, and he was recently with the Blazers. So he's like a developmental guy, but they really haven't had a chance to implement their anything. As recent as the start of the season, they had only been on the job about 6 months. So they really fixing the airplane in the air.
Yeah, they were hired kind of late, huh?
Yeah, they was kind of pretty late in the game because typically, if you were going to fire the president or the GM, you would do that toward the end of the season or the middle of the season. You're not going to do that at the beginning of the off season because you only got like a month or two to really do anything.
Yeah, they had a late start. Yeah, I agree. Because they only had a few weeks to prepare for the draft. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that was a thing. That was a major thing. And we was like, hopefully that they just carry over some of the Bryson intel. And I mean, it was a shit show, basically.
Let me ask you this: you think because of that is why they locked in on the players that they like? It was obviously reported that Troy Weaver had the relationship with Derek Queen, going back to Maryland and stuff like that, and they absolutely love Fierce, right? Do you think that was part of the reason they was willing to make the moves that they made, because it was like, oh, we don't know. Well, like laziness to a degree, like we don't know too much about all of these people. Let's just get what we know. They talented, they projected to be whatever. Let's just do what we need to get these guys.
Yeah,
I think I think they flew a little too close to the sun, right? Okay. I say that because that's there's two ways to learn, man. You can learn from experience and you can learn from other people's experience. I think them kind of having their hands tied with Willie Green coming into this season, you really didn't have an opportunity to do anything but like, I got to evaluate this on the job. And I don't think any of us could have imagined some of the guys that we've seen underperform this year. would have underperformed at this rate.
No.
Like every single thing that could go wrong at the start of the season up until this point for some of these guys has happened. Like we've probably gotten some of the worst versions of some of these players, and you it's tough to wrestle with that. Kind of like no matter what you do, like at worst you probably thinking, well, if shit go wrong, the pick would be 10th. Oh, I trade the 10th pick.
But
Yeah.
the thing was,
Top
like
five?
them drafting Fears and Queen, I really understood it, bro. Because coming in, they kept hearing Willie talk about how the team was soft, how these dudes was like had a soft mentality and all this. They like, look, man, we're gonna go get us some 2 dogs we think we could build with. Look,
I get
whatever
that.
the consequences is, it is what it is. Look, we're gonna find us 2 young dogs to build up the organization. Look, the other guys, look, we gonna evaluate it. We like you said, we don't really know them, but we're gonna get us 2 dudes we know.
I ain't really mad at that. Let me
And
ask.
it's like, look, ride or die. Like they look, we're gonna ride or die with it right now. It's looking bad.
I
It's like,
also
look,
do want to.
these
I
the
do
guys we
want
want
to
to set
add.
we want to set the culture with.
Go ahead, Liam.
I do want to add on top of the why they didn't announce Troy Weaver. I also feel like it's very fair to say that as NBA fans all over, recency bias is a very big thing, as we are seeing right now with like people wanting to keep Eve instead of selling high.
Yep.
And with how Troy exited Detroit, I think if you announced him as GM, it would have been a very big
Negative cloud.
yeah, along with already having a large negative cloud on the trade.
That's a good
But
point.
like looking at Troy's entire tenure and like all of his picks, some of this stuff I didn't know. Chris Humphreys, Deron Williams, Ronnie Brewer, Paul
Damn.
Millsap,
Paul
Damn.
Millsap. Woo!
Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka,
James Harden to a degree.
James Harden, yeah, Ryan Reed, Reggie Jackson,
Yeah.
Steven
Boy got
Adams.
hits, man.
Dude like that, bro. Dude
Okay.
like that when it comes to drafting.
He's such a good eye for talent, which is why I think we're seeing like Benedict Mathurin or like some of these like other talks. I've seen a couple other talks about them. If they did send Zion, it would be trying to get Ayo Dosunmu.
I like Ayo.
Yeah, no,
Chad's been talking about Ayo for about 2 months now.
Yeah.
he's good. But like
It
my
sucks.
my big problem with them,
Not having a pick. Go ahead.
I think my biggest problem, or it like, yeah, I'd say it's a problem. My biggest problem with both of them is asset management.
Yeah.
Because it's great that you hit on these, but you need to have the assets to be able to hit on these.
Yeah.
Like you can draft like a Luka Garza or Jalen Duren, but how are you supposed to draft them if you don't have a first rounder? And it from what I have seen throughout their entire tenure with all of their teams, they are very trigger happy when it comes to send a pick, let's go get this person in the draft, and then it doesn't typically turn out and the season goes the way that this one is, and now you're sending the number 1 to the number 5 pick to whoever you sent that to. And so it's like, okay, yeah, the person that you drafted is a stud, but like they just got like they just got a star.
Let me pose this question to the group real quick. If I feel like Joe is gonna try and make this team. Joe and Troy are gonna try and make this team like the Chauncey Billups, and me and Chaz talk about the Chauncey Billups Pistons teams to a degree. This is what I mean. As you talk about how, like, if they go and acquire Ja Morant, right?
Yeah.
That's more like we're trying to be relevant now, as opposed to if they were to sell off everybody. You talking about, long-term rebuild and stuff like that. So would that moment be the sign of like demarcation? It's like, okay, they traded for Ja. Like, I don't think you can trade for Ja and then send out Z. Do that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense. I think
Yeah.
you know what, I liken it to, bro, because there's two Detroits, right? There was the Larry Brown Detroit Pistons, and then it was like once shit started going downhill with Flip, and and it kind of you started kind of chasing that high again. Like, Chauncey is about we think he's at the end of his rope. We don't want to sell too late. Let me go get Iverson. He's another guy that been to the finals. And I think I think it's kind of like a combination of some of the things you've seen in OKC and some of the things you've seen in Detroit, because you can say, like, for example, I see Fears is like, well, he got a little Westbrook in his game for his attitude, little nastiness to his game, but also when I look at Detroit, it's like Joe, and you kind of see that happen with Zion. He's like, no, he play that shit with y'all. He don't play that shit with me, because I'm gonna deal with him like a man. Like, I'm gonna deal with him, right? So I think that's one of the reasons you see him like, I'm not scared to take on Ja Morant's contract. He do that shit with Joe. He ain't gonna do that with Championship Joe. I'm Championship Joe. He not gonna do that with me. And
also,
go ahead.
Hold on, I just thought about this. When Joe got hired, he was like, man, I didn't have plenty of me and Zion got a really good relationship because I didn't have plenty of conversations at the league office. You don't think he got that same relationship with Ja?
He probably got a better relationship.
Oh yeah,
he probably
yeah, you're right.
What I'm saying?
Yeah,
I never even thought about it till just now. As much as Ja been in the league office the last couple seasons,
and this
he
was
probably
just
spoke to Joe personally.
Also, the reason that Joe needs to be the team to be good, man, they're trying to get, I don't know, renovations or a new lease or whatnot. They need the team to be good right now.
Yeah.
And also, bro, Joe a winner, man. He ain't like he trying to win.
Joe's won at every level in the NBA
Bro, he ain't come
point.
here to just sit around and just watch the team lose. I don't believe that.
Man, Joe's an older gentleman. He's in his 60s. That was one of my apprehensions about hiring him. I'm like, I don't see a long-term thing.
You know how many coaches Joe fired in Detroit? Like,
it was like one every year.
He's patient, but he's patient to. Man, he used to fire coaches left and right.
Like, bro, Willie Green got fired after 12 games. If James Borrego stays till the end of the season, he will have had 70 games. That's more than the COVID season.
I got a feeling I just have a feeling he won't.
You don't think? What you mean?
The more the team loses, I'm like, man, Borrego, I can't see you making it the whole season.
Oh yeah, that's why. Oh yeah, look, me personally, I think at this point, after the deadline, you can go about your business, dog. Like,
for real.
That's all. Especially if they bring in new talent, it's like, all right, we don't want to poison the well. Let's get the ball rolling. And one name I'm telling y'all to watch out for is Jamal Mosley, because he just got his kicked in the night by the Charlotte Hornets, and that's a name. I can't believe that name didn't really make the rounds, but that's a name. The Pelicans are interested in Jamal Mosley in Orlando. But I'll say, man, Joe is known for taking on reclamation projects, taking on guys like distressed assets, guys like Rip Hamilton, Rasheed, undersized center, and Ben Wallace. Chauncey Billups was damn near out the league when he brought him on. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't afraid to deal with difficult personalities. He dealt with
a quick basketball question for y'all fellas. I got to head out at like 5. If like a trade upgrade at the center position, like something that's reasonable, like what are some ideas you guys have? Like an upgrade.
That's a great
question. Like
nothing
crazy, just like ever since we lost JV, the center rotation has been trash. Just like somebody that you could depend on to give you like 14 to 10, 14 and 8 every night.
See, I was thinking about that earlier. If you were to just send like Looney, Poole, and Sadiq to Miami, and like maybe a protected pick, what's stopping you from taking on the Rozier contract if it means that you can grab Ware? Because Spo doesn't like Ware.
Is Ware expiring next year?
He's got 3 years.
Whoo.
We.
Boy, you need him to go to jail.
No, Terry or where? Because you said where.
No, my bad. I meant to say
Terry
Yeah.
expires next year, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think with the Spo and Ware relationship, I think it's certainly on the table because he dislikes Khalil Ware.
Actively
but you
will
think
like
that's
go out of his
a
way.
gettable? Like you
Yeah.
think that's see what I was kind of man. We could have had Walker Kessler in the summertime. We should have went all in the summer and got Walker Kessler. Utah was willing to give him up. His value was low around that time.
I think in the summer it might have cost you a first and a swap, maybe.
I would have done it. You already did it.
I probably would have done it too because before the injury this year, he was balling.
Oh, he was balling.
That dude is incredible, right? I think one person that I would take a gamble on, and I mentioned this to L. I don't know if they would do it, but this is kind of in the same vein as Khalil Ware because you're gonna have to get like probably a below $12 million center. You got to get a relatively cheap center. My veteran option will be like Goga Batadze, somebody like that, just as a stopgap type guy. But my home run swing, and I might strike out, but I'll be like, hey, y'all want to trade me Derek Lively?
Hey,
I'll take the risk.
Honestly, it's not that far out of the park, right? Mm-hmm. Like Dallas is what? Dallas right now is hard capped at the second apron, and they are trying to dump money as fast as they can. If you just take like a bad contract and you send out like a what?
Give me Najee back. Give me Najee and Lively for
God. I would love Najee back.
Hey, y'all think that Herb for Gafford deal still on the table? I know it was a while back. Herb
for Dallas. Gafford, you say?
Yeah, it was Herb for Gafford.
I don't know if I do that one. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they in because I think Kyrie gonna end up getting traded too. I think they're gonna reset that timeline.
Yeah.
So that's why in Lively you're gonna have to make a decision in about a year or two. And he ain't playing at all. It's like, do I really want to extend this guy? You know, he gonna want to get paid just based off his talent versus his, results.
But in my opinion, is like I believe, bro, even with a new coaching staff, in order for us to really compete, like we have to upgrade at the center position.
Oh, absolutely. Like, bro, people,
it's a need, man. It's not like it's a need.
So, if you had Jonas right now, you'd be a better defense.
Absolutely.
I think one of the things people understate, because I think people give Herb a ton of credit for the defense, and Herb is an awesome defensive player, but your ability to end possessions with rebounds, that's what had you in like the upper echelon of defenses. You weren't ever really good, like far as like rotations and on-ball defense. It just when teams missed, you didn't give up offensive rebounds.
Exactly.
And now that you are doing that, it don't matter how many stops you get because you can't secure a rebound. And like, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest, man. We talking about like the center position and stuff like that. If this team is not going through like the full rebuild, right? And let's say you considering like ease for Ben Mathurin, right? And then you considering the Ja move. I'm still going consider. We talk Liam. I think it was Liam or Mike that I think it was Mike that mentioned it having like over $100 million in salary. Man, like movable pieces, bro. Go get some bonus. Like you still in position to where Sabonis could be, and not saying that Sabonis is a great center, right? But he could play the five damn near at an all-star level.
Look, for real, look, you and Scott Perry and y'all boys, and man,
and they trying to trade Sabonis, bro. They trying to trade Sabonis. The coaching staff.
I think they're actually
go ahead, Liam.
blow it up. I was gonna say, I think the Kings are actually gonna blow it up.
Yeah,
like I'm looking at Fanspo right now, and like looking at their picks, they have a haul of picks right now. A first rounder, 2 second rounders, two firsts, and 2 seconds, and then all of their own picks.
They are second away from being the Nets, where you just drafting a bunch of people and you can't play them all. So
and you just gave Keegan a ridiculous contract the way you're forcing him to be the face of your organization. and you're hoping that he can take a Michael Porter Jr. type leap and be
And I
like
just
that.
don't see that with
that guy.
Keegan Murray. I'm being honest. I don't see no.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't see it neither.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's just a role player.
Better be a hell of a leap.
Yeah.
Exactly. So with that being said,
Boy, he had to put on like 40 pounds of muscle and everything, man.
let's say hypothetically the season goes something like this from a trade as like acquiring talent. Everybody's like acquiring talent. If you turned let's say other than who's really the untouchables, right? Z, Trey, Fears, and Queen, right? I think that's really untouchable. I think Herb got the soft trade request out there supposedly or whatever. If you take the other, I don't know how much salary, like 100 million, 150 million or something like that, and you turn that into Ja at 40, Ja's around 40, Ja at 40, Sabonis at 40. You're gonna have to extend Mathurin if you get Mathurin, and then you go say acquire Kessler in the offseason or something like that.
Like, that's too much money.
That's a bit excessive.
No,
it's a bit excessive. But I'm just throwing out names of like throwing out names of like if you come up with and you can add Weathers too, but if you add come up with any combination of those players, and then a new coaching staff, you go into the season feeling like my top 8 could get down.
One of these three things.
Like, look, if you're gonna make a trade, you say I want to win. Like, don't make no bullshit trade. Make a I want to win trade. Like, don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass it, bro. Like,
don't go get DeJounte Murray when you could get Trae Young.
Exactly.
I think one of these three. I think one of these three positions got to come cheap. They got to be cheap players. It's either going to be your point guard, it's going to be the shooting, or it's going to be the center. Because I think if you say, because there's avenues to get Ja and Sabonis, and it wouldn't really be difficult. You can give Memphis expiring salary and Poole and Looney and maybe a first and a swap, something like that. You probably got Ja if you send them that, right? You could probably find a way to take Zach LaVine off the books and get Zach LaVine to the Kings maybe, and get Zach LaVine to the Bucks, send Murray to the Kings on a big expiring. There's, and that way you're helping clutch clients. Like, there's ways to do it, right? But that if you trade for Ben Mathurin and you go get Ja, now I gotta go find a cheap center. And which is you can get by with you can get by with a relatively cheap center and do center by committee. Everybody got different skill sets. You don't need no all-world center. It would be nice.
Could you still get Lively?
Yeah, and he would fall under that cheap center, rookie scale center realm. Even if it don't work out. Technically he is, right? But I think the issue you would run into still is I still need shooting. I gotta find the shooting from somewhere, and maybe you draft it. Maybe you get low budget Con Knipple in the second round. And these are all deals that where I don't even know if Herb necessarily got to be involved in these deals for salary matching purposes. So you would still in the offseason have opportunities to move other guys. I don't even think I said Hawkins yet.
No,
because Sabonis' deal, bro. Sabonis on a bad deal. On a bad deal. Because even last night,
Herb for Kuminga. Just take Kuminga on without picks.
Now, here's the thing, I would need Kuminga just got hurt tonight. So if I could get Herb and if I trade them Herb and stuff for Kuminga, this salary, and I can get a first back, I would do that because if shit don't work out, I got $50-60 million in expiring salary. I can move and I can still go do something. They just gotta. For them, they got to start now. Is really the issue.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, bro, they can't keep. That's why I'm like, what you waiting on? It's like, don't wait up to the trade deadline. You got to start preparing for next season right now.
Yeah, you got to start now. That way you go into the offseason saying, all right, I got one thing. All I need is one more. Or, I got one or two more. You know what I'm saying? But you got to start now, and you got to get DeJounte off the books. Poole going to be as valuable as he's ever been on that contract this offseason. You can, Looney
Poole,
falling off.
Like you said, Chaz, Poole in the offseason turns into what CJ.
Yeah, it's the same situation, pretty much.
Yep.
Same situation. You could trade him as an expire and you know, but that center position, that's why I like a guy like Goga Batase as like a fringe center. And the thing is, you already know you got certain, like Ben Mathurin probably not getting more than like he might get like 18, 20 mil.
I was about
like,
to say I can't imagine he get the Herb money. He might get the first Herb money.
I think he
14 to
gonna
17.
Woo, I think he gonna get about 20. I say that because
So
he
he
was
averaging
asking for 30.
He averaging 18 points a game this season.
They was
Is
asking for 30. Yeah, he averaging like
18 a game this
17.9.
season.
And look, they was asking for 30 last offseason. So I think he gonna get about 20. I think he might get like a little less than
22.
Trey.
I think he'll get 22.
Yeah,
23.
I think get a little less than Trey.
Yeah.
Would you give him that?
Yeah, I would.
He's like 23 years old, bro. I'll take that, man.
Honestly, it's like
he worth the risk.
It's like, was Trey really better than him at this stage?
No.
Yeah. So that's why I probably would do it. It's like it's pretty much the same
He's
thing.
in year what? Year
bro,
3?
you won 21 games last year, 10
4.
games this season. We got to switch it up, man.
Yeah.
Man, listen, bro. I appreciate all y'all for tapping in for the first inaugural episode of the Fanline, man. Look, we'll appreciate all y'all. And look, this is again, it's the first episode, but we're gonna try and do these at least once a week, maybe twice a week, depending on how scheduling and everything works out. Appreciate everybody that locked in, that tapped in. Liam, Lee, I'm gonna release y'all real quick, man. I appreciate y'all for joining the show.
Y'all be safe, fellas.
I'm happy y'all let me join in, fellas.
Always, man, we appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate
and look,
y'all.
man, like for in the future, bro. If y'all watching my show and y'all obviously, watching Chad's show and y'all active in the comments and stuff like that, like be on the lookout for this one, man, so we can really engage and discuss.
We're gonna try this every Thursday.
Freely. Yeah, at least. You know what I mean? So we can have real dialogue, and like we kind of hung up a little bit, but first episode free flowing and stuff like that. So man, we really appreciate y'all for tapping in. So I'm gonna release y'all real quick, but I appreciate y'all, bro, for real.
Shout out to Louisiana Gal in the building. Shout out to Lean. Shout out to Lee. Y'all be safe with that weather, man.
All right, for sure. Hold on.
My dog Louisiana Gal in the building. Shout out to everybody in the chat too, man. Fist of Black Star, Josh, my dog Joe, Brock's in the building, Combat, yes, Jess in the building. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Hoffa.
Always, man.
Much
appreciate
love to all y'all, man.
Appreciate y'all, bro. The first episode, I think it went well, man. That was like Liam always in the chats and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mike always in the chat and on X posting whatnot. We streaming right now on X too for everybody. You know what I mean? So keep out on the lookout on X. Also, we not 100% sure that we gonna stay on X. So maybe the first couple weeks, maybe the first month for sure. But if not, y'all gonna have to catch us on the YouTube page, man. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, bro. What you think of the first episode?
Man, I thought it went well. It was dope talking with the fellas. Liam, Lee, Michael Morgan, man. Brothers always showing
Twitter,
love.
Man. It's definitely
Look, Joe said, bro, call it. Shout out to Joe.
It's definitely Twitter, but we being politically correct right now. You did,
man. And it was good because there's a lot of news going on right now, man. There's a lot of stuff. The Pelicans are as relevant as ever on the trade front, not necessarily as a team right now. And I think, it's a lot of smoke, man. It's a lot of smoke right now. And for the viewers, I will say Joe and them play stuff real close to the vest. A lot of people don't like that locally. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have a problem with that he not really, sharing the information wealth. And that being the case, I think that's why you don't see a lot of rumblings coming from the Pelican side of things. Like it's mostly from other teams' side, and they're giving their POV. Like you're not really hearing things that's like,
that's
the
actually
Pelicans,
that's one of the first times it's kind of been like that, to be honest. You don't really hear much about the only thing you've been hearing from the Pelicans, or even if it is, it's like, nobody available. To be honest,
like they've been consistent with we're not making nobody available, or like we answering the phone if you blow us away with a deal, maybe.
Yeah,
but they playing their cards close to their vest. They're not really signaling what they trying to do aside from the pool thing, Messi, etc.
Obvious moves.
Yeah, like this
moves.
obvious moves. Guys who weren't
Yeah.
listed as those non-tradables. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I think there's a lot of smoke, man. I think they make at least 2 deals as far as I think Jose's probably gone. And I think Eve may be gone.
You
And
saw the
then-
video of Jose warming up the other day. Shout out to Schmidt. Saw the video of Jose warming up.
Yeah.
Looking
I mean,
fly as can be.
it's crazy. I ain't need to see it. Jose never sits down on the sideline, though. Jose is the ultimate energy teammate, though. Jose is the ultimate energy teammate. Brother never sit down on the sideline. Herb doing a lot of standing and jumping as well. It's gonna be interesting to see if he plays tomorrow with Ja being out.
Man, we might as well just do the swap right then and there, bro. Just go, Ja. Come on, pack, pick it. Yeah, we coming to town. We coming to town to pick you up. Just get on the jet. Get on the team jet. Well, you could leave with us. Me, you, Z, and Troy. We gonna fly private, and you know what I mean. Take it
like what your boy Big Red said. I want it on my label. Let's make a deal right now.
What color you want?
Yeah. I'm just a small country boy, but I do work hard for my artists. You heard me? Let's do it.
Yeah, bro. What color you want? Had them boys had the heartbeat suited and booted, ready to roll.
Boy, they gonna retire. Joe, shout out to Joe. He said they gonna get Jose a statue. Boy, they gonna retire Jose number.
Bro, Herb got a day. Herb got a day.
Shout out to Herb, man. I hope the dudes are right, bro.
Shout out to Herb for his little what was he had a little scholarship giveaway.
Yeah, they give back to the kids, man. Herb,
yeah, bro.
Herb, Trey, Joe. I'm sorry. Herb, Trey, Jordan, Poole, and Zion. They do a lot for the community, dog.
Yeah,
they give back to the kids, man. Shout out to them guys, man.
Yeah. So anytime we talk about like moving y'all and stuff like that, man, this don't have nothing to do with y'all.
Yeah, I'm talking about basketball, fam.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Stuff, man. We appreciate y'all on that level and whatnot. So, but again, man, we ain't gonna hold y'all too long, man. This has been the first episode of the Fan Line, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. You know what I mean? This one was fun. I thought.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it myself.
Yeah, absolutely. You hear me? So again, we'll be back likely next Thursday. We locked in.
Hopefully next Thursday we have some moves being made. Yeah. You hear me? I'm back though.
Now look, there's another thing too. This the benefit of having this type of show. We could spring this bitch at any time.
Yeah.
So if listen, it might be an episode tomorrow if Ja Morant is announced. I know I'll be ready to drop a show. So with that being said, man,
if they do that, it's all hands on
deck right now.
Breaking news. You heard me? Shit, for sure.
Man, yes, 6 o'clock in the morning. You heard me? Like, oh man, guess what, bro?
Right.
Yo, I would be so amped though. I ain't gonna lie.
Just go ahead and do it, son.
Hey,
just go ahead and make the move happen, though. Do it for the kids, bro.
Yeah, bro. New Orleans love Ja.
Yeah, Ja love New Orleans. I just look today. I was walking with my people. I saw Ja in Iberville. Saw Ja.
You saw what?
Ja was in Iberville looking at apartments, bro. I'm telling you, Ja might be. He might be en route. You know what I'm saying? He might be what?
What? Oh, people like that, man. That's how Ja was in the Iberville. Well, the reason I say that, they was like, yeah, we saw Lane Kiffin's wife all through Baton Rouge. Like, if they don't spot you first, let somebody say they spotted T. Moran out here.
Oh yeah, like T. Moran was
if T in the
under
city,
the bridge on Claiborne. You're like,
yeah,
what? Because it's believable.
No, if imagine John them get traded right before Mardi Gras. No,
that'll be Boogie Cousins all over.
All over. That's why you gotta do
Cousins.
it.
That's why
he gonna have Z out in the streets. He gonna have Z out in the fan. Z, man, lead the family at home. Out. I got my dog with me. My dog from AAU.
Just do it, bro. Just do
1 and 2. 2
Get
and
the 1. people some. Get the people. I got all kind of commercial ideas.
1 and 12
for the. Oh man.
Ooh.
Just do it, son.
Listen, on it, no cap. If you do that, let's say they trade for Ja. This shit ain't gonna happen. It's too much like right. Let's
Right.
say let's
For real. Make
let's
too
say
much
you-
sense.
Absolutely. You trade for Ja, and then the Pelicans in the offseason finally announced. I'm gonna repeat it. Finally announced the motherfucking uniform rebrand.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Oh man.
With
They
a new
might win.
coaching staff?
Boy,
With the new coaching staff? Tom
it doesn't make too
Thibodeau?
much sense.
Tom
I'm telling
Thibodeau, the coach? Oh,
based on how they were struggling to sell them tickets this past offseason, bro. I'm talking about it was a very open secret.
I
And
barely
shit.
bought them bitches.
Yeah, and look, you can look in the arena and see. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about nobody stealing your phone if you drop it in that arena, boy. That bitch gonna be right where you left it at. But I'm telling you, they need some excitement for the fan base, man. Go ahead, sign John Morant, though. Just go ahead and get it over with. Make it easy on yourself, bro. It's a perfect opportunity.
Do you give him the extension? We leave it there. You give him the extension? Yeah.
I gotta
Now
see you play. I gotta see you play about 65 games first.
Yeah.
62.
Yeah, bro,
play
listen,
62.
I said the same thing about this. Let's say they do make the Ja deal. You go get Ja, boom. You pair Ja with Z with Trey. If these dudes make the playoffs, cause you know who gonna be looking for an extension soon? Z.
Yeah. And boy, that number
It ain't looking good.
Yeah, it ain't looking good. And look, him and John,
good.
they like, we gotta put our minds together. We gotta help each other because what the fuck?
We gotta and you know when teams, but I didn't even think about this. So Z got what 3 seasons left this year and then 2 more, right?
Yeah, this year and the 2 more, non-guaranteed, pretty much.
You know when people normally ball out on that second
to last year. Boy, if you don't act a fool that second to last year,
you done for.
You're gonna be frying fish.
So realistically, from the way that the league typically works, though, if you had Ja and Z on your if you don't make all NBA, you ain't gonna get that. You ain't even qualifying for that super.
If you don't at least play 65 games, you ain't getting no individual awards.
Oh
man, just go ahead and trade for Ja, man. Because if it don't work out, so what? The Boogie thing ain't work out either. We still talk finally about that. You won a series, man. That's how low the bar is.
And Boogie ain't even play.
Boogie ain't even play in the series, and we still talking about the great what if. Man, stop playing these games, though. Let's do this, man. Let's do this.
Man, fuck that, man. My starting lineup next season: Ja Morant, Z, Trey, Ben Mathurin, and Khalil. And I'm coming off the bench with Queen. I'm coming off the bench with Queen and Fizz, though.
Boy, I ain't gonna lie. I had to give me a little 1 of 5 game packages, boy. I had to go. I have to tune in.
5 game. Yeah, that
Jesus
shit too
Christ.
much. That ain't gonna never happen. Jeremy.
Yeah,
but
man.
Again, man, appreciate y'all for tapping in. This been the fan line, you dig. I'm A. Davis, my dog Cheddar Chaz in the building.
Indeed.
Y'all be safe, man. Stay up. We going into that weekend. When the Pels play again?
Friday.
Okay, Friday. Also, listen, man, this ain't gotta be the fan line. Ain't gotta be just about the Pelicans. If we want running about the league or anything else, just know that we could discuss any team because
Jonathan Kuminga's injury today. I mean, it's a lot of things to talk about.
The Clippers revival, you know what I mean, and what stars supposed to look like. You know what I mean? There's a lot of interesting stuff going on around the league. So this could be more than just the Pelicans, though. But again, y'all stay safe, man. We out. I'm A. Davis. That's Cheddar Chaz. Peace.